everyone, and welcome back to another Storytime video. And today I am going to talk about my first days of school. Pretty much no matter which school year it is, whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, or even college for that matter. I just mean in those specific grades, not just in general starting out high school or college. I have specific storytime videos on those that I've told before in the past. So, in general, coming off of summer break, which is what if I was still in school, I'd be coming off of summer break right now. And so it's times like these where I start to miss school. I mean, I am a nerd. Say whatever you want about it. But there was at some points where 2 months was enough for me to be off. For many, many years. There was a year or two where I didn't really get tired of being off for a month or two at a time, or a couple months at a time, but I still really, really enjoyed school that much to where I would eventually get to miss it. And so back before I was in high school, I went to just one school. I went to a private school that I believe I've talked about in another Storytime video. But it was always interesting to see who was coming back. Did we have any new people in the class? You know, stuff like that. Because generally, even though you rotated through teachers, at least I did, starting, in the third grade, it was still generally, you move up to fifth grade from fourth grade, and you still have generally the same people in your class, if they came back, that is. And so, that's what I mean by seeing who's coming back, who's leaving, all that stuff, because I never got to know who was leaving. Well, sometimes I never got to know. Most of the time I never know who was leaving. Before next August. Unless they were graduating and moving on to high school. But generally, if it was like third to fourth grade, then for example, I generally didn't know who was going to come back. I had a good sense of who was coming back and who I would have loved to have back every single year, but sometimes it just didn't happen, and I was young and naive. So there was at some points where I just thought that a particular person would be back pretty much no matter what. And it was kind of surprising to me sometimes when a certain somebody or somebodies didn't come back to that particular school the next fall, and that they had moved on to, or they had changed schools. Whether it be because they moved or because their parents just didn't want them to go there, and that they stayed local. I can think of two particular classmates of mine that moved to different states. One of them, I knew that she was going to move that summer because we had a birthday party going away. Well, it was a birthday party, and I guess it was a going away party for her. And so she moved because her dad moved because of his job to a totally different area of the country, and with one of the guys, or that was a girl, this is a guy. He moved back to where I think his parents grew up there, and I think he might have been born there, in that particular area. My classmate might have been born in that particular area, but they moved out there, and I didn't know about it until that next August, where I'm like, he's not here anymore. And I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, what happened to this guy? And she was like, oh, he moved to this area or this other state. And I'm like, oh, okay. And but in high school, I didn't have to really worry about that as much. But the difference between that being in private school and going to high school, in terms of, even though generally your classmates are the same and you know them and they're not automatically going to move, and you have a better sense and a better awareness of people graduating and moving on and all that stuff, I guess. But the biggest difference in terms of change from year to year was not the students leaving, like I mentioned, but it's the teachers not knowing before that summer who your teachers are going to be. Like, there was at some point about middle of the summer, so about late June, early July, so around July 4th, if you are in America, and we would report to the school and we would get our schedules. At least I remember that's when it was. It might have been mid to late July, but freshman orientation, which I probably should have talked about in this video, but the video I don't think would have been that long in terms of a story time, and I don't want to make story time videos that are like 2 or 3 minutes long. So, but we got our freshman schedules at freshman orientation in high school, and senior year, when we went to get pictures done for the yearbook, if we did go, then they gave us our schedules then. I think, I don't know, it's been several years since I was in high school, and I kind of forget. I was just like, oh, school schedule, okay, cool. My senior year of high school, I didn't actually suffer from senioritis. My last trimester of college, yes, I did have senioritis. I did have senioritis. So basically, in college, I was there for 5 trimesters. And I went to a tech school. I graduated, so the 5 trimesters was the full course. And so I had the same instructor all throughout my time, and for the most part, you got to know, or it was the same people trimester to trimester. But, so you had the convergence of elementary school, having the same teachers and being familiar with all of the teachers, because it was a private school, and it was kind of a small private school. I need to revisit talking about this sometime, and I guess I will in the future. And then you had the knowledge of knowing who's going to come back, for the most part, in high school. Because you're like, oh, well, all of my classmates were freshmen or sophomores last year, so we're either going to be sophomores or juniors this next year in August. And so you basically had that convergence of knowing who's going to be the teacher and who's going to be your classmates for the next trimester in college. I need to break down college and all that more thoroughly, and because I haven't made a storytime video about that yet, but I need to write that down. Part of my problem is that I don't really... I think of ideas and I don't really have the chance to write them down or whatnot, or think of a date to have them, or to tell them. But now, recently, I've done a good job of that, and I have next week's storytime plan, or 2 weeks, so the 18th, September 1st, September 15th, the 29th, November 13th, October 13th, the 27th, and October 10th, or November 10th, all planned out. Anyway, so, you had some time off in between trimesters in college while I was there, but, each trimester was very, very fun, and, of course, the beginning of it was cool, because then you got to bust out a new notebook and start taking, notes in a different color notebook. Again, call me a nerd. I don't care. That's just what I am. I'm a nerd. I'm a computer guy. I'm a nerd. Trust me, I have heard it. I've heard plenty of jokes about that. Anyway, so... But yeah, first days of school are always fun. They were always fun for me, because it was the opportunity to learn new things that you haven't learned before, and I miss those days to a certain extent, and I think it might partly be... I think I might be saying that partly because paying taxes and paying to be an adult kind of sucks, and working so much does kind of suck, but it's just part of being an adult and growing up. I mean, you can't be in school forever. But I do miss going to school, so if you're in school right now, whether it be in elementary, middle, high school, college, or maybe a post college beyond, or a post school beyond college, like medical school, dental school, that kind of stuff. Enjoy it while it lasts, because you're not going to be able to have it or be in it forever. And that might sound cliche, but... And this might also sound cliche too, but it's hard to appreciate something while you're able to experience it. And so I tried to experience to appreciate high school and college while I was in them before I graduated. I didn't know about that before I left private school. I didn't realize that, so I wasn't able to do that like I wanted to. But I don't miss college as much because I was able to appreciate it in the moment. So that's my advice to you, besides the same old do well and just do well in school. Also, I will say one other thing before I leave you all today. Even if you're in high school and you don't quite know what you want to be when you grow up right now, that is perfectly okay. And even in college, you might not know what you want to be when you finish school. But whatever it is you want to do, make sure it is something you are going to enjoy for the next 40 or 50 years of your life. 30, 40, 50 years of your life. Because there's no sense in having a career if you can have one if you're miserable all the time and hate the career that you're in. So make sure that you're able to do something that you love. I'm able to do what I love, and I really enjoy what I love. And that to me is one of the most important things when you're trying to decide what to do for a living. So, two key takeaways: do what you love and try to enjoy school while you're in it. Because you're going to miss it while you're out, trust me. More than likely, you're going to miss it when you're out. And you're going to wish you had just one more day in a classroom. And see us, guys. I do believe that will do it for this storytime video. And till next storytime video, I will see you later. Goodbye, guys. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you all for watching. And